The Transformation Motivation is a weekly podcast featuring people that have made extraordinary transformations within their health and fitness journey, and maybe even their life. The podcast is an opportunity for real-life transformation stories to discuss their story for others to relate to. Too many times, there are people with these social media transformation stories that have doctored up photos, so we want to highlight real people with real stories people can relate to. We'll get insider strategies, tips, step-by-step of how they did it, and challenges they faced along the way. Now, get ready for the Transformation Motivation Podcast.
What's up, party people? And welcome to another episode of the Transformation Motivation Podcast, where I bring to you guys all the great and wonderful transformation stories that you see on social media, and you're curious about how they do that, or who is that person, where they start, what are some of the challenges. So I bring those people to you so that you can get all the in-depth tips, tricks, what they're doing, what they've learned, little strategies here and there. So today I'm excited to bring my man Phillip onto the Transformation Motivation Podcast. Phillip, what's up?
What's up, man? I'm glad to be here. I just want to say first and foremost, thank you for having me here, and I love the name. I get motivated by other transformation stories. I know for myself, I look at social media and get motivated by, even your story, looking through it. I'm like, that's what's up. This is exciting stuff. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it motivates me. So I feel like bringing this to the people that are en route, in journey. We all are on a journey, right? So
yeah, absolutely. I actually follow on Instagram. I follow the hashtag weight loss journey because I can see other people, and like you said, you see these people and it's inspiring and it's motivating because you're like, wow, you were there and now you're here, and it's just powerful.
Yeah. It's like I can do it. If he can do it, then I can do it. And I say that about myself with business, with even my personal relationship, my life. I've encountered couples that have been married for 30 years, and I sit with my little challenges in my marriage. Like, all right, if he can do it, I know I can do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it gives you hope. We all are hanging on that little last bit of hope.
And that's, that's something that this world needs. Everyone needs a little bit of hope to just know, what's possible.
Cool. So tell us a little bit about Phillip, man. I've been looking at your story, but everyone kind of wants to know, what's your story?
So my name is Phillip Henderson. I'm currently 28 years old. I have 3 kids, beautiful wife, family man. About 5 years ago, I weighed over 450 pounds. And
how tall are you?
I'm 6'2". I'm 6'2".
6'2".
Yeah,
okay.
I'm 6'2". So I weighed over 450 pounds, and man, I was eating everything under the sun. Everything under the sun. So I have a basketball history. In high school I played ball, and then I got injured. And then once I got injured, that's when all my activity stopped, and that's whenever I found food to comfort those things, what I'm saying? So then I started diving down in everything possible, everything possible.
It wasn't until a lot of guys that played in the NFL, then they're in their career, and then they just it's really heavy.
Oh yeah, it's that thing, you have that thing that you so desperately want to have, and you want to live this lifestyle, and once it stops, you don't know what to do, and then for me, I just found food as my comfort.
Gotcha. All right, so talk to me about so early on you quit sports, quit basketball. At that time you said you were eating just junk, whatever.
Yeah.
For you, at what moment was there an aha moment? Was there an awakening, or was there what?
Absolutely. So I was 450 pounds or somewhere around there, maybe more. I didn't really measure it. So I was still playing basketball because that's the love of my life, So I was playing basketball. At this point, I was already graduated. And I was playing in this basketball league. And what happened is I tore my ACL And it was at that moment when I knew something had to change,
Mm.
Because I knew I was going to have to get surgery, and then I knew my recovery wouldn't be well. It wouldn't be easy, me weighing as much as I did. It would not be easy. So I needed to change something,
Gotcha. I mean, and I think 450 pounds is a lot for, I don't care how tall you are. You could be
Oh, yeah.
you could be
Oh,
7'5", and 450 pounds is just a lot for
It's a
one
whole
person
lot.
to carry. Your joints, your heart, even to pump blood,
Oh,
to
yeah.
all that.
Oh, yeah.
Seems like it would be a bit of a challenge. So, walk us through what were some of the initial changes that you made within your life or lifestyle. What were some of the initial steps that you took after you noticed that, hey, I need to make a change?
Yeah. So in 2013, I went to my sister's house, and at the time we all lived in Austin, Texas, is where we all resided. So I went to her house, and she was talking to me about plant-based foods, and I had no clue of what that was, being that, I didn't even eat a fruit or vegetable at all. I was eating all the fat and grease and, everything out there. So I was like, and I was listening to her talk, and at that point I was kind of desperate for anything, for
Okay.
any kind of change, and I just didn't know about the life because it wasn't my experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I took her word for heart, and that day, or matter of fact, that night, whenever I got back home, I threw everything in my house away, literally
Wow.
everything. And then I went
Wow.
shopping the next day to start fresh. I had to just remove everything out of my house.
Like, that's a good point. That is such a good point right there. You took away any kind of temptation. You just
Oh, yeah.
said, I'm burning the bridge.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
To the other
Exactly.
to the other side. I'm burning the
Yeah.
bridge, and this is what I'm doing, and I'm committing by just eliminating everything.
Yeah, because I knew if I didn't do that, it would not go well for me. It would not have went well for me at all.
Yeah.
Because as you know, and I know, food addiction is something that's really, really strong and powerful. It's
Oh
really
yeah.
strong and powerful.
Food
And
addiction is real.
it's
It's a real thing.
very, very real. It's the
Yeah.
realest thing out there.
Like, you talk about drugs, you talk about like people being on like hardcore drugs. Like,
Yeah.
food ranks above that. Food
Oh,
ranks
yeah.
above that.
Oh, yeah. One of my
Crazy.
best buddies, he eats the way that I live, or he lives the lifestyle that I live. And he
Uh-huh.
told me the hardest thing that he ever had to do was get rid of the addiction of those foods. It's just because he was actually on drugs, He was
Wow.
actually on meth. And he was
Wow.
like,
Like,
I
not
had to
not
eat.
not just any drug.
Yeah, meth. He was up there. And he was like, by far, food addiction was much harder to get rid of than that.
Wow. And so, like, if you're listening, and I'm going to be really real, if you're listening and you have and it's addiction, and it's okay. You got to be real with yourself. Number one, if you need help, go get help. I just had to take that break to say that, because I know addictions in people's lives are real. It's a real
Oh, yeah.
thing, and
It's serious.
you can't necessarily depend on your own, willpower to
Yeah.
make it happen, to say,
Oh, yeah.
I will do this on my own, because you'll end up running that cycle. And I've seen it in friends with other, like, drugs and things. So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, totally.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good for people to reach out. Absolutely. Because it is tough. It's really hard. And one of the best ways to do it is, find someone who's going to hold you accountable. And, not only that, you want that person to also want better for you, because you want better for yourself. So you want that person to be like on the same level as you to get
Yeah,
you there.
absolutely, absolutely. So, like, let's take us back to 2013. You eliminated everything.
Hmm.
You've got this plant-based thing going. So what are the initial steps? Like, so give us different. I feel like there's different levels. You say plant-based. Now, I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like there's different levels. Like
Oh,
you got, in my mind, I think vegan,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
So, but there's different levels of vegetarianism.
Yeah.
Vegetarianism. So
Yeah.
there's levels to this thing, man.
Oh, for sure. For sure. There's tons of different ways to do it, you know?
All right. So
Um,
what level did you go in at?
the level that I started very simple foods. Um, the only beans that I would consume are chickpeas
Uh-huh.
because they aren't as acidic as the other beans. Not saying that beans are, really bad for you, but chickpeas are like the healthiest bean that you can consume just because it's less acidic as the other ones.
Got it.
And then I would eat a lot of cooked vegetables. I would make stir fries, cabbage, mushrooms, onions, bell peppers, things like that. And I would also consume a lot of fruit.
Okay. So
So,
and it's
so
funny.
no grains, no bread, no
Sure.
starch. Yeah, just
So not
very
a
simple.
craving. So during this period of time, did you get a craving for like a burger? Like, man, I
One
just
hundred
want.
percent.
Okay,
One
I
hundred
just want
percent.
a burger. So
Yeah, 100%. Because so I'm 28 now. At that point, I was 23, and after 23 years of building up this addiction to food, you know, that cycle was very difficult to break. It was very, very difficult to break. So once I started it, I was focused, I was determined, I had the willpower, I knew where I wanted to go. But that addiction every now and then would always come back. Always, because that's 23 years that I've built up of it. So it's always like, hey, look at that. I know you see that over there, and I'm like, oh, I can't. So I did three times, and I remember what they are. One time I had a cake, not just a slice, a cake.
and that I was gonna ask to clarify that. Because
Yeah, not a slice.
I'm thinking, okay, maybe he had a wedge.
Yeah, no. I had a cake, a whole cake. All right.
All
And
or
then,
nothing, right?
huh?
All or nothing.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. All or nothing. And then after that, I had chicken wings, which of course aren't plant-based. I had chicken wings, and then after that, it was rice cooked with like butter and chicken stock. It was Mexican rice. So I had a lot. It wasn't a. It was
Yeah. It was
a whole lot.
see.
And after that rice, I felt so sick. And then I was like, I know I can't just continue to do this.
Yeah.
And these 3 slip ups, they were overtime. They were 1 month in, then, a few months later, then a couple months later after that, which means over that process of time, my cells were changing, my, stomach, my taste buds, everything was changing because, the food that we consume over time replenishes our cells and our muscles and everything. So I was getting to a point where my body was getting so clean that once I consumed those other foods, it would just reject it, you
Toxic.
know,
It was
and it
toxic.
rejected it. It
Yeah.
rejected it, so I was puking. And after that, I was like, man, I can't do that anymore. So, and from that point on, straight and narrow.
Straight now. Straight now.
Yep.
So walk us through. So like I said, I know there's different levels. So
Hmm.
there's vegan. I'm just gonna go off my ignorance. I mean, I've learned some things over 17 years of
Hey, it's
food
okay. It's
things.
okay.
But
I only know this because this is the life that I live.
that's you're living the life, right?
Yeah, and that's
I'm
that's
looking
the only reason why.
I'm looking at textbooks trying to figure this thing out. You're living the life. So you got vegan, you got like lacto ovo, you got pescatarian, and you've got
Yep.
a new one which is like some sort of pea.
Um. Um. Oh gosh.
Proletarian or proletarian or something like that. Anyway, I
I
know
I know what you're talking about, but I just can't remember.
it's several levels to it. And you went all in. Like
Yeah, all
you,
in,
you
100%.
you went all in 100%. This is the change that I need to make for myself. But I do recommend, still everybody like listen, research, what level works best for you. Um, but from personal experience for you, you felt like the most replenishment of your body from just going all in.
Oh yeah, I had
Gotcha.
to. I had
Gotcha.
to, I was just at a point where I knew I had to change everything at that exact moment.
Yeah.
And some people, like you were saying, it's good to study and research what you're doing. And if you want to go towards the plant-based lifestyle, you can transition in a little bit at a time and, slowly get to where you want to go. But at my point where I was, I knew I had to go all in.
You had to dive in.
Yeah, I had to. I had no other choice.
All right, so let's go into a couple things that my people that are wanting to get more information, or not information, like some maybe strategies from you if they're starting with this lifestyle. Like, what
Yeah.
are some things that you recommend? Looking back on your journey, like over time, what would you have told your old self when you first started this whole journey?
Research,
Okay.
research. I would also say, it's not easy, but it's possible,
Okay.
just to give myself that boost, because people need to understand that everything can be achieved. It may not be easy, but it is possible. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. You're going to have to get your mind right. You're going to have to, keep that strong willpower going. And, if you need someone there for you, like we were talking about earlier, get help,
Yeah.
get help. Have someone who's already in the game, have someone who's already there and, living at the best of their life, and you talk to them, feed off of them, ask them questions, get the information. That way, you can go all in.
Absolutely. And that's, I recommend everyone, exactly what to his point, to Philip's point, hire a coach, phone a friend, find
Yeah,
somebody,
exactly.
find somebody that is doing it, has done it, that can offer advice. Don't go talking. Everybody's got an opinion, okay?
Oh yeah.
Everybody's got an opinion.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it's not warranted.
Absolutely.
So you go with the person that has achieved great success within a certain lifestyle, and possibly somebody that you would want to mirror. Now, as far as exercise, this is my personal question.
Yeah.
As far as exercise, how does that work with the vegan lifestyle, or has it changed for you from when you were playing basketball and just eating whatever to
Yeah.
now I'm vegan, and how has that changed? Or what does that look like?
Man, so it's incredible. It's
Okay.
incredible. I feel like I recover a lot faster.
Hmm.
I feel like I'm way stronger than I've ever been in my life, ever.
Okay. Wow.
And it's just very, very powerful.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I just feel like my cells can replenish a lot faster, and my muscles can build up a lot faster. And it's so crazy. It's
Yeah.
so crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. It's
So
awesome.
what's your normal workout look like for the week? Like, what? Give me a rundown. What do you normally do for the week? Is it all like weights, or is it body weight stuff? Is it just more calisthenic, or is it
Yeah.
cardiovascular based? Give me your regimen.
Me, I love to mix it up. I love, love, love to mix it up. So when I first started, I was into bodybuilding, and I love bodybuilding. It's incredible. It's so fun. It's awesome. But I got to a point where, I wanted to change things up a little bit. So
Uh-huh.
then I dove a little bit into calisthenics, and then I dove a little bit into like just outside exercises, like flipping tires and things like that,
Oh yeah.
And so what I do now is I mix it all up. Some days I'll go for a 3 or 4 mile run.
Yeah.
Some days I'll lift some weights. We actually have weights in our backyard here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and sometimes we go to like a little calisthenics park, and
Yeah.
I'll do some pull-ups and, things there, and flip
Yeah.
tires. So I love to mix it up. Love it.
Absolutely, 100%, man. I love it. Like having variety, and this is what I coach with, even with my clients, people that DM me all the time. Like, what should I do? Here's the
Yeah.
deal. Like, there's no one fitness discipline. There's many.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
There are
Absolutely.
things that you can do to move your body to accentuate, healthy movement, healthy motion.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you set different fitness instructors or people within different fitness disciplines, if you set them up in a room, they're all going to say that I have the best fitness discipline, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
You go to the Pilates instructor, hey, my Pilates is much better than your yoga.
Yep, they're going to say mine is a beast. Mine trumps yours.
I mean, here's the deal. We're all in the game of helping people to move better, enjoy a better life, better lifestyle, better living. So, I mean, it all works to a certain degree.
Yeah.
It all works.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, you got football players doing not ballerina. What is the bar classes and stuff now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they see how challenging it is, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've done a Pilates class, and I was like, okay, all right, this is serious stuff.
Oh, it's real. It's very real. It's very, very real. I did Pilates like 3 times in my entire life, and every time it kicked my butt. Every time.
Got it. Yeah, totally. Same here, man. Same here. So as we wrap it up, I want to thank you again, Phillip, for coming on, gracing us with your presence, your knowledge. If people wanted to reach out to you and ask you questions or pick your brain or maybe even use you as a coach to help guide them through their journey, how would they reach you and where would they find you?
So the number one place you will find me, and I will always be, is Instagram. Always. I'm always there. So my handle is, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask what was your handle?
Okay. My handle is @theChocolateVegan. I love it. It's clever. It's catchy. I love the name. So when
the chocolate because you used to like chocolate or what? I'm kidding.
It's because I'm chocolate. It's because I'm chocolate and I'm vegan, you know? And whenever I first came up with that name, I was like, man, this is really, really clever. I was like, I like that.
Yeah,
that's where you can find me. You can also email me at contact@fruitmusclefitness.com. And that's, where you'll also find my coaching and the things that I do there.
Cool, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. So again, you tuned into the Transformation Motivation Podcast, and we're here with Mr. Fruit Muscle himself. You want to flex your guns? Flex them up, man. Show everybody what you're working with there.
Boom! In the flesh.
Boom!
In the flesh.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.